The House is now called to order. Will everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The prayer today will be offered by the Honorable Samuel I. Rosenberg.
Whether this is your first opening day or your 42nd, it is a special occasion. To enter this State House, we walk past the statues of Thurgood Marshall, of two school children from Topeka, Kansas, and of Donald Gaines Murray. Both Murray and Marshall graduated from Baltimore's Frederick Douglass Senior High School. Murray had returned home from a small college in Massachusetts to seek admission to his state's law school. Marshall's successful lawsuit on Murray's behalf was the first step on the legal path of overturning the separate but equal doctrine. The decision in Brown versus Board of Education was unanimous. Last month, I had the privilege of speaking at the opening ceremony for the new Cross Country Elementary Middle School. I was in the kindergarten class when the school first opened in 1955. It was 5 blocks from the home where I grew up. Monday night, I heard a colleague speak of the 1.5-mile walk she took home from school, hungry and without lunch. Sunday afternoon, I swam at a pool that my father could not. At dinner that evening in Little Italy, the restaurant owner told me of the sign outside the swim club when she was young. It read, "Privileges of the swimming pool are extended only to approved Gentiles." We come here today from different ethnic and religious backgrounds with different life experiences. Whether it is your first session or your 42nd session, may we return home in April after benefiting all of the people of Maryland. Amen.
Quorum call. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Madam Clerk.
Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. A majority of all members present, the House is now in session. The first order of business is the nomination of a Speaker Pro Tem, the delegate from Baltimore City.
Good afternoon, colleagues, and welcome to our first day. It is my honor to nominate a delegate who is kind, humble servant, one that exhibits the patience of Job, a delegate who brought his passion for the environment to the General Assembly in 2007, and since then has made the environment his top priority, working tirelessly on solutions and at times making us unbelievers believers. The delegate is a steadfast, consistent person who shows his reasonableness to all. He listens to all while standing firmly on his convictions. A quiet force of nature, a colleague, a mentor, a friend to us all. Colleagues, I put forth the name of the delegate of 11B, Dana Stein.
Is there a second? The delegate from Charles County.
Thank you. I stand up proudly second the nomination for Delegate Dana Stein for Speaker Pro Tem. I served with him on ENT when I first became a delegate. Observed his intellect and his subject matter expertise was second to none. As Vice Chair of ENT, I watched his work. We worked together on the Climate Change Solutions Now bill. I saw his compassion for the plight of each and every citizen, understanding the intricacies of what we needed to do to move forward, not only as a state, but as a nation to preserve our climate. But today, I don't just stand here to elucidate this body on Delegate Stein's knowledge. I want to expound upon his compassion, his demeanor, his desire for teamwork, that he listens. He knows that each voice counts, and every perspective deserves to be heard, whether he agreed or not. And we sat across from each other multiple times, going back and forth, and as loud as I became, he still stayed quiet. He still stayed calm. I was very proud to watch this man and work together and actually meet and find a solution that can account for all. I stand today to proudly nominate Delegate Dana Stein, or second the nomination for Delegate Dana Stein as Speaker Pro Tem. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations? Is there a motion to close the nominations? The delegate from Baltimore City.
Thank you. I stand here with great pride and privilege to close the nominations for Speaker Pro Tem.
Is there a second? The delegate from Baltimore County.
I stand here to second the nomination, to close the nomination for Speaker Pro Tem Dana Stein. Many of you have already spoken about him as a delegate. He was mine for years, but I need to add that Dana Stein is my friend, and he has been my friend for decades. Dana can be counted on to celebrate when there's joy, and he can be counted on to stand by you and for you when you're in a storm. It gives me great pleasure to close that nomination.
Nominations are closed. We are ready for the question. All those in favor of the Honorable Dana Stein for the office of Speaker Pro Tem, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Honorable Dana Stein has been elected Speaker Pro Tem of the Maryland House of Delegates. Will the delegates please escort the Speaker Pro Tem to the rostrum for the purpose of being sworn in.
Yes.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Dana Stein,
Do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and
States
that I will be faithful
and that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Speaker Pro Tem
execute the office of Speaker Pro Tem
according to the Constitution and laws of this state,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state,
that I will not directly or indirectly
that I will not directly or indirectly
receive the profits or any part of the profits
receive the profits or any part of the profits
of any other office
of any other office
during the term of my acting
during the term of my acting
as Speaker Pro Tem of the House of Delegates.
as Speaker Pro Tem of the House of Delegates.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Good afternoon, colleagues and guests. Thank you very much for this honor. Thank you. I want to especially thank the speaker, my family members who were here, my wife Margaret, my son James, my sister Melinda, who's up in the gallery, and the hardworking staff of my office. I look forward to working with everyone as we proceed through this session, the 446th session of the General Assembly. Now, nominations are open for the office of Speaker of the House. Delegate from Howard County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On this opening day of the 446th Maryland General Assembly, it is my honor to rise and nominate a native Marylander, a native Baltimore Countyan to be specific, a graduate of Lansdowne High School, a proud alumni of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. This individual has dedicated their life to public service, starting in their county and then joining this august body in 1997. Since serving in the House, this individual has demonstrated steadfast leadership. Whether it was serving on the House Appropriations Committee as chair of the Capital Budget, whether it was serving as Speaker Pro Tem and trusted advisor to former Speaker Mike Bush for 16 years, or whether it was leading this body through the challenges of COVID, or working hard to ensure that every child in Maryland receives the education that they deserve, this individual cares about doing what they believe is right. This person leads with strength and compassion. They are a tireless advocate for policies that improves the lives of who they serve. This individual has a leadership team that unequivocally has their back. And this individual speaks softly but carries a big stick. A ceiling breaker, a change maker, a role model for young girls and young women all across our great state of Maryland, a mother and a grandmother. It is my honor, my distinct honor, to nominate Adrienne Jones for Speaker of the House.
Is there a second? Delegate from Anne Arundel County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My wonderful soror and colleague has said it all and said it well. Her steady, get the work done, on time is late, attitude, professionalism is a continuous example for us all. It is my honor and my privilege to second the nomination for Adrienne A. Jones as Speaker of the People's House of the great state of Maryland.
Are there any other nominations? Is there a motion to close the nominations? The delegate from Harford County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move that we close the nominations for Speaker of the House.
Is there a second? Delegate from Prince George's County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to second the closing of the nomination for Speaker of the House, as we have an excellent choice before us, a woman of integrity, class, and dignity that works well under pressure in high heels. So thank you.
The nominations are closed. We are ready for the question. All those in favor of the Honorable Adrienne A. Jones for the position of Speaker of the House signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Honorable Adrienne A. Jones has been elected Speaker of the House of Delegates. All right. Madam Speaker, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
Adrienne Jones,
Do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of Speaker according to the Constitution and laws of this state,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state,
that I will not directly or indirectly
that I won't directly or indirectly
receive the profits or any part of the profits of any other office during the term of my acting as Speaker of the House of Delegates.
as Speaker of the House of Delegates.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is the part where she gives remarks. I'm sorry for those who had to stand. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 446th legislative session of the Maryland General Assembly. To our returning members and to our 5 new members, let me start by saying thank you. Thank you for electing me to lead the Maryland House of Delegates. Thank you for putting your faith and trust in me once again. I never take your vote for granted, and I don't take this position lightly. To the spouses, children, and family members joining us today, thank you for making our members' public service possible. The next 90 days won't be easy for you either, and the sacrifices you will make are real. I know I don't have to remind anyone in this chamber that sacrifice and service go hand in hand. These 2 virtues make up the backbone of this institution and defines what it means to be a legislator. So when people talk about the challenges we face, I remind them that we have 141 members of the Maryland House of Delegates who share a love of public service, who believe there is a better path forward, who are willing to make the sacrifices to lead our state and help Marylanders most in need. Let's not fool ourselves. The challenges we're up against are real. Right now, our state is facing difficult fiscal realities. We know we have some tough decisions to make ahead of us to pass a balanced budget as we do every year. Our state is facing an untenable situation around juvenile crime. We have seen a troubling lack of cohesion and coordination between juvenile services, state's attorneys, and law enforcement. If we're going to keep our communities safe, everyone needs to be held accountable at all levels, including our youth. Speaking of the vitality of our communities, we will also look at all our options to ensure that we can maintain our transportation system in Maryland. MTA and WMATA should both be world class. Thank you. I was on appropriations during the Great Recession. We made a lot of tough cuts, but we also funded things that were necessary for Maryland's future. This year, we are going to fund our shock trauma system. Improve the availability of workforce housing, and keep our commitments to the blueprint. But today, I also want to speak to something more fundamental, the basic values of decency and empathy that should guide our state and society. Over the past few years, we've seen our political disagreements literally pull us apart. We've seen it in our communities, in our friendships, and in our families. We've seen it here in Annapolis, in the hallways, in committee, on the House floor. This has been a challenge for each and every one of us. As the divides between us grow, we've seen a rise in threats to our democracy, increased prejudice in our communities, and attacks on equity and inclusion. The presidential election this year is only going to make things worse. So this session, I'm promoting a series of bills I'm calling the Decency Agenda. These bills will put safeguards and best practices in place to prevent intolerance and hate from taking further root in our state's institutions and schools. We are at the front lines of protecting our democracy, our schools, and our diversity. This work is on us. As a legislative body, we are special. It's our job to have these tough conversations, and they need to be done in decency and in order. I want to be very clear, decency does not mean we will compromise our values. We know that we'll never agree on everything, and we shouldn't. But our disagreements don't have to turn us into enemies. Remember, thank you. Remember that our shared values are more powerful than the threats that divide us. We will do this work with humility and with expediency. We will talk and then listen to each other. We'll keep an open mind to ideas and opinions that differ from our own. We'll do this work together, united as public servants working for the people of Maryland. We'll continue to work over the next 90 days. So let's get started and have a great session. Thank you. It is my task now to represent and recognize our guest list of VIPs. And from my left, if you would stand up when I call your name, Sperry Williams happens to be my brother, oldest brother. Here. Secretary of State Susan Lee, a former member here. Former member who cut her teeth here. Good seeing you. And two more, I don't know the people in the back row. Oh, who? I didn't see the comptroller. Oh, the comptroller was here, and the attorney general was here. They had some work to be doing, being in their respective roles. Okay. To my right, we have County Executive Angela Alsobrooks. Representing Prince George's County. County Executive Johnny Olszewski. County Executive Jessica Fitzwater. County Executive Calvin Ball. County Executive Elrich. County Executive Pittman. County Executive Julie Giordano. If I messed it up, sorry. Baltimore City State's Attorney Ivan Bates. Carroll County State's Attorney and former delegate Haven Shoemaker. Okay. Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley. Ocean City Mayor Richard Meehan. City Administrator Faith Leach. Sitting on the behalf of Baltimore City Mayor Brandon Scott. Former Delegate Gareth Murray. It's on the list. Charles County Board of County Commissioners VP George Patterson. And I understand in the gallery we have Prince George's County Council Chair Jolene Ivey, who also cut her teeth in the Maryland General Assembly. House rules, the clerk will read the order.
Ordered by the House of Delegates of Maryland that the rules of the House of Delegates in effect at the end of the regular session of 2023 be adopted for the regular session of 2024. By order, Sylvia Siegert, Chief Clerk.
The question for the House is the adoption of the House rules. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. House rules have been adopted. Order of organization, the clerk will read the orders.
Ordered by the House of Delegates of Maryland that the Chief Clerk of the House is Sylvia Siegert, pursuant to House Rules 103 and 105 of the Maryland House of Delegates. Ordered by the House of Delegates of Maryland that the Journal Clerk of the House is Colleen Cassidy, pursuant to House Rules 104 and 105 of the Maryland House of Delegates. Ordered by the House of Delegates of Maryland that the following desk officers are hereby appointed to serve the House of Delegates during this regular legislative session of 2024. Assistant Chief Clerk Wendy W. Compton, Assistant Journal Clerk Anisha K. Oliver, Legislative Assistant to the Chief Clerk Cindy Olszewski, Reading Clerk C. Rhodes Whitehill. Ordered by the House of Delegates of Maryland that the monies appropriated for the expenses of this regular session of 2024 as set forth in the Appropriations Bill be paid upon the joint order of the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House. Ordered by the House of Delegates of Maryland that the Speaker of the House shall appoint the employees necessary for the proper transaction of the business of the regular session of 2024 as provided for in the budget. This order to remain in effect until changed or modified by the House of Delegates of Maryland. Resolved that the committee appointments made by the Speaker during the regular session of 2023 are hereby continued to serve during the regular session of 2024, and be it further ordered that the Speaker is hereby authorized and empowered to fill any vacancies that may exist in said committees by reason of death, resignation, or any other manner. By order, Sylvia Siegert, Chief Clerk.
Hearing no objection, the orders are adopted. Appointments. The clerk will read the appointments.
Resolved that the Speaker makes the following appointments. The Honorable David Moon of Montgomery County be appointed as Majority Leader. The Honorable Criselda Valderrama of Prince George's County be appointed Deputy Majority Leader. The Honorable Melissa Wells of Baltimore City be appointed Assistant Majority Leader. The Honorable Jazz Lewis of Prince George's County be appointed as Majority Whip. The Honorable Jared Solomon of Montgomery County be appointed Deputy Speaker Pro Tem. The Honorable Diana M. Fennell of Prince George's County be appointed Assistant Speaker Pro Tem. The Honorable Stephanie Smith of Baltimore City be appointed Parliamentarian. The Honorable Emily Shetty of Montgomery County be appointed Chair of the Democratic Caucus. The Honorable Nicole Williams of Prince George's County be appointed Vice Chair of the Democratic Caucus. Resolved that the Speaker makes the following appointments. Chief Deputy Majority Whips, the Honorable Vaughn Stewart, the Honorable Melissa Wells. Deputy Majority Whips, the Honorable Marlon Ampry, the Honorable Charlotte Crutchfield, the Honorable Andrea Harrison, the Honorable Julian Ivey, the Honorable Steve Johnson, the Honorable Leslie Lopez, the Honorable Julie Plakovich-Carr, the Honorable Sheila Ruth, the Honorable Karen Tolles, the Honorable Courtney Watson. Resolved that the Chair and the Vice Chair of the standing committees are Appropriations Chair, the Honorable Ben Barnes of Prince George's and Anne Arundel Counties, Vice Chair, the Honorable Mark S. Chang of Anne Arundel County. Economic Matters Chair, the Honorable C.T. Wilson of Charles County, Vice Chair, the Honorable Brian M. Crosby of St. Mary's County. Environment and Transportation Chair, the Honorable Mark Corman of Montgomery County. Vice Chair, the Honorable Regina T. Boyce of Baltimore City. Health and Government Operations Chair, the Honorable Joseline A. Pena Melnick of Prince George's and Anne Arundel Counties. Vice Chair, the Honorable Bonnie Cullison of Montgomery County. Judiciary Chair, the Honorable Luke Clippinger of Baltimore City. Vice Chair, the Honorable J. Sanley Bartlett of Anne Arundel County. Ways and Means Chair, the Honorable Vanessa E. Atterbury of Howard County. Vice Chair, the Honorable Janelle K. Wilkins of Montgomery County. Rules and Executive Nominations Chair, the Honorable Ann Healy of Prince George's County. Vice Chair, the Honorable Marvin E. Holmes, Jr. of Prince George's County. Resolved that the Speaker makes the following committee appointments. Appropriations Committee, the Honorable Malcolm Ruff, the Honorable Ryan Spiegel. Judiciary Committee, the Honorable Kent Roberson, the Honorable Cherie Sample Hughes. Ways and Means Committee, the Honorable Denise Roberts, the Honorable Greg Wims. By order, Sylvia Siegert, Chief Clerk.
Hearing no objections, appointments are adopted. Message to the Senate.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, the House of Delegates has organized by the election of the Honorable Adrian A. Jones, Speaker of the House. We respectfully propose, with your concurrence, the appointment of a joint committee of 4 members, 2 on the part of the House and 2 on the part of the Senate, to wait upon the governor and inform him that the General Assembly is now organized and prepared to receive any communications he may desire to make. We have appointed on the part of the House delegates Moon and Buckle.
Hearing no objection, the message is ordered journalized. Message to the Senate.
Ladies and gentlemen of the House of Delegates, we have received your message notifying the Senate of the organization of your honorable body and requesting the appointment of a joint committee to wait upon the governor to inform him that the General Assembly is now prepared to receive any communications which he may desire to make. We have appointed on the part of the Senate Senators King and Hershey. The Senate has organized by the election of the Honorable William C. Ferguson IV as president.
Hearing no objection, the message is adopted. Calendar of vetoed House bills, calendar number 1. Recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to special order the calendar of vetoed House bills until Tuesday, January 16th.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? The ayes have it. The calendar has been special ordered. Consent calendar of introductory House bills number 1. The clerk will read the first bill.
Household 1, Delegate Boyce, Environment, Transportation, and Economic Matters.
Recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So much be considered the reading of House Bills 1 through House Bills 49.
Hearing no objections, the bills are read the first time and referred to the appropriate committees. Consent calendar of introductory House bills number 2. The clerk will read the first bill.
Household 50, Delegate Acevero, Ways and Means.
Recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So much be considered the reading of House Bills 50 through House Bills 99.
Hearing no objections, the bills are read the first time and referred to the appropriate committees. Consent calendar of introductory House bills number 3. Clerk will read the first bill.
Household 100, Delegate Cardin, Ways and Means.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So much be considered the reading of House Bills 100 through House Bills 149.
Hearing no objections, the bills are read the first time and referred to the appropriate committees. Consent calendar of introductory House bills number 4. The clerk will read the first bill.
Household 150, Delegate Frazier Hidalgo, Environment and Transportation.
Recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So much be considered the reading of House Bills 150 through 199.
Hearing no objections, the bills are read the first time and referred to the appropriate committees. Consent calendar of introductory House bills number 5. Clerk will read the first bill.
Household 200, Delegate Wilkins, Appropriations and Ways and Means.
Recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So much be considered the reading of House Bills 200 through 256.
Hearing no objections, the bills are read the first time and referred to the appropriate committees. There's a couple announcements I missed. State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy is in the back somewhere. Oh, back somewhere. And former member and current council member Wanika Fisher. Message from the Chief Executive, Executive Nominations. The clerk will read the nominations and committee assignment.
January 10, 2024, dear Speaker Jones, in accordance with Article 2, Section 11 of the Constitution of Maryland, I am pleased to submit for confirmation by the Maryland House of Delegates appointments made during the 2023 recess of the General Assembly. These appointees possess a commitment to advancing equity across our state and will serve the best interests of all our citizens. I am confident you will find them deserving of your support for appointment confirmation. Referred to Rules and Executive Nominations.
Hearing no objections, the bills are read the first time and referred to the appropriate committees. That ends the work at the desk. Recognizing the majority leader.
I move that the House stands adjourned until Thursday, January 11th at 10 a.m. Quorum call.
Yes. Either way.
Madam Speaker?
Is everybody recorded the vote? I mean, their presence. Okay, if not, the clerk will take the call. There being 137 members present, the House is still in session. Recognizing the majority leader.
All right, let's try this again. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House stands adjourned until Thursday, January 11th at 10 a.m.